Don't miss out on our new videos by subscribing Logic Heap and pressing the bell icon.
Hello friends, welcome to Logic Heap. In this tutorial and in coming series of tutorials, we are going to cover what is time complexity and what is big O notation. So this is your what. Next is what is going to be the goal out of this series. If given any code, right, you should be able to tell its time complexity and in terms of big O notation as well. So this is our goal. We'll do a lot of examples so that you become comfortable in answering this question. Okay, next thing is why we are going to study this. So there are two reasons. First is you become a better programmer. Okay, so when you know about time complexity, you actually know to what algorithm you will say that it is a good algorithm, to what algorithm you say it is not that good algorithm or it's a bad algorithm. So when you know about time complexity, you will be able to answer this question. It means when you will be writing your code, you know is it going to be good or bad. Okay. Next thing is, it is the most asked question in interviews. Like in every interview, this is going to come. Okay, so second thing I said is it is mostly asked in interviews because when you give the answer to any question, they give you a problem statement, you'll solve it. Once you are done, the next question that is coming to you directly is what is its time complexity? And if you'll not be able to answer this, means you don't know the code you have written, you don't know its time complexity. It's like half knowledge. So that's why it's important to know about the time complexity. So these two reasons are enough to study about it. Next is what are the prerequisites? So in general, not much, but if you know basic coding, that is fine. Okay, if you have written some codes, that is okay, you'll be able to understand what is time complexity. And second thing is, if you have some knowledge of functions in mathematics, it is going to help. But even if you don't have, by the real world examples or by logic, you'll be able to understand it. So these are the two prerequisites. Okay, so now you know what is it, what is going to be our goal. We are going to begin. The very first thing is what is an algorithm? We should know. So algorithm, if we go by the definition, it says step by step procedure to solve a problem. So even in the real world, if you don't go into computer science, when I ask you supposed to make tea, what would be your steps? You'll take water in the utensil, you'll boil water, you'll add sugar, you'll add tea leaves, you'll then add milk, you'll boil it. So these are the steps that are for making tea, right? In the computer science, it is going to be the same. If I ask you to find a prime number between 1 to 10, what is going to be your step, right? You'll write some line of code. This is your algorithm to solve this problem, which is to find the prime number. Okay, so algorithm is simple set of lines which are going to give you the required result or step-by-step procedure to solve your problem. Now, you will implement this algorithm using your favorite language, whatever it be. So now I'll use those words algorithm, code, program interchangeably. When you are going to run it, okay, what is going to happen? It is going to use resources of your system for sure. Now, what are the resources for which we are mainly concerned? Those are first processor. Okay, so every line is going to the processor, doing some processing and returning. So who is doing the processing? Processor. So what is a good algorithm or an efficient algorithm where operations are less processor operations are there and you are getting your required result. Okay, so less the usage of the processor and the result is also you are getting, it means it's a good algorithm, not just processor. Second thing is memory. Here when you create variable in your programs, you store some values in it. What you are going to do, you are storing those values in RAM in your memory. So the less you use it, you are using your resources less and then you are giving the required result, you are solving a problem, it means it's a good algorithm, right? So two resources we are mainly concerned with, processor and memory. And more specifically, we will be talking about processor while we are discussing time complexity. Okay, so these are the resources, and how should be their utilization? It should be minimum to give you the required result. That algorithm we call as efficient algorithm or good algorithm. One more thing, this is from the system perspective. Even from the user perspective, if you are doing a booking, if you are booking a flight or a train ticket, you want booking to get done faster, right? So from the user's perspective also, we want processing to be done very fast by the algorithm which is written at the back end. So that's why, not just from the system's perspective, a good algorithm also helps the user to get their work or get their results faster. So that was all about the starting of your time complexity and big O notation. In the next series of tutorials, we are going to learn more about time complexity and big O notation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into Logic Heap. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.